Hey guys, it's me, Rich. Now, this weekend, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took the stage to rally support for her socialist buddy, Zohran Mamdani, and the crowd ate it all up. She claimed New Yorkers aren't crazy or outlandish, but what you'll soon find out is that insisting you're sane in front of a microphone doesn't exactly scream stability. Now, this video breaks down how AOC and Mamdani are trying to sell socialism as the future of America's biggest city, while polls show shocking numbers of Democrats are buying into it. However, the real story may shock you. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to RPW Media, where we put America first and we never apologize for it. Look, if you like our videos already, but you haven't done so, you should become a subscriber to the channel. You can hit the notification bell and smack the like button because it helps us get our message out to a whole lot more people. We thank you for that. All right. So AOC shows up in Queens this weekend to hype up Zohran Mamdani, the New York City socialist Muslim mayoral candidate, right? She turns it into a pep rally for socialism, wrapped into a history lesson about immigration. Give this a watch.
This city was built by the Irish escaping famine, Italians fleeing fascism, Jews escaping Holocaust, Black Americans fleeing slavery and Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life, Native people standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in this country, in a vision to build the freest, toughest, and greatest city on earth.
So let me unpack all this if I can, all right? She mentioned slavery and Jim Crow, but what she didn't mention is that those two things, those two horrific things, were brought to you by her party, the Democratic Party. She mentioned Italians, like they were fleeing fascism and the Jews were fleeing the Holocaust. Well, both of those horrors were brought to you by left-wingers as well. I did a video not that long ago on the father of fascism. It wasn't Benito Mussolini like they want to tell you. His name was Giovanni Gentile, and he was a disciple of Karl Marx. Benito Mussolini, who leftists always call a fascist because they want to hide the fact that they share the same ideology, he made Gentile's ideas into policy. And the Holocaust was perpetrated by the Nazis, who were fascist socialists. It's in the name, people. Democrats love the virtue signal in these items, but they never point out that it was their party and their history that brought it to us. And I love how the Democrats like AOC try to get away with the fact by saying that, well, the Southern strategy was where the evil ones switched parties. Yeah, as if the grand old party that was established as the abolitionist party who ended slavery and continued fighting for civil rights for Black Americans, suddenly and out of nowhere, without warning, switched over to become an evil Democrat. The party that fought against and defeated the Democrats up until that point, right? Yeah, we're supposed to believe that. Now ask yourself, did that sound like inspiration or indoctrination? Now here she talks about the Democrats not being the crazy ones. Oh, please. With everything we went through with their wokeness and progressivism and all the crazy crap that they did during the Biden administration, they're not the crazy ones. They're still crazy to this day. Give this a watch.
We are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City.
You are.
They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, sweetheart. We are not the crazy ones, she says. You know, it's been my experience that if you have to go out of your way to declare that you're not crazy, and then you have to double down on it, and then in a performative truth exercise declare that you're sane, well, let's just say that the diagnosis writes itself. And with AOC, it's not a hard sell. Just follow her Twitter. Okay, back to reality. And the scary part, guys, is that the numbers seem to back her up in New York City. Polls from the summer show Mamdani and AOC are still popular among Democrats. One survey funded by a pro-Palestinian group, shocker, said 68% view Mamdani favorably and 75% are head over heels for AOC. They probably want to date her. You remember that? Even worse, Democrats in that poll supported enforcing an international arrest warrant against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and cutting off U.S. weapons to Israel. And yes, those are the centerpiece issues of Mamdani's campaign. Do they know that a lot of Jewish people live in New York? So what's driving this? Well, for the most part, a tidal wave of college-educated youth who now vote who think that Karl Marx was a founding father. These kids paid Ivy League tuition just to be taught that socialism and communism will finally make life equal for everyone. Maybe they should go ahead and elect Mamdani so that they can learn the hard way that socialism sucks. Meanwhile, Mamdani proudly belongs to the Democratic Socialists of America. A DSA-funded poll even claims most Democrats believe socialism better reflects their values than capitalism. Shocker. Wait until they elect Mamdani and find out that socialism is a parasite of capitalism, because without capitalism, socialism dies of starvation. 74% to be exact. That's right. 3 out of 4 Democrats think socialism is the future. Politico reported on a survey by the DSA Fund. Politico reports the survey described capitalists as believing, quote, that the private sector is best equipped to make improvements to Americans' lives. They generally support lower taxes, oppose government regulations to businesses, and want the private sector to own key industries like housing, healthcare, and utilities. After hearing each description, 74% of likely Democrat voters said democratic socialism comes closest to their viewpoint, while 16% said the same of capitalism. A plurality of independent voters and a majority of Republicans said they preferred capitalism. Now, the survey of 1,257 likely voters nationwide conducted from August 22 to 24 using web panel respondents had a 3-point margin of error, which means it's closer to what we thought. And it's not just local, guys. Even Bill Maher on HBO's Real Time called out AOC, Mamdani, and Elizabeth Warren for refusing to appear in a show. He mocked Democrats for dodging questions while Republicans, in his words, show up and take their beating like a man. Now, polling says 2/3 of Democrats in New York City are embracing what 54% of Americans flat out reject. Translation, the Democratic Party's base in New York is spiraling towards socialism while the rest of America sees it for the failure that it is. And speaking about doubling down, give this a watch.
Numbers from Gallup, because Gallup has been testing this for years, for decades, really. Basic attitudes towards socialism and capitalism. These are the latest numbers that they came up with. Overall, asking folks, do you have a positive view of socialism? 39% of Americans said yes.
That's too high.
54% said they had a positive view of capitalism.
Low.
But look at the party split here among Democrats. Look at socialism. That's nationally again. 2/3 of Democrats nationally, not talking New York City, but across the country, say to Gallup they have a favorable, positive view of socialism. Only 42% of capitalism. And take a look here. Independents, Republicans, it is different. Slight majority of independents favorable toward capitalism. 3/4 of Republicans favorable towards capitalism. Well under 50% in each case favorable to socialism.
Guys, even the prediction markets are catching on. Polymarket just gave Mamdani a 95% chance of becoming New York's next mayor. So that's where we are. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rallying the troops, Mamdani selling socialism as the people's choice, and Democrats tripping over themselves to catch up. But the question is, will New Yorkers wake up in time? Okay, now here's the bright side. History shows that socialism always collapses under its own weight. And when it does, it's ordinary people who remind everyone why freedom, responsibility, and common sense work. If Mamdani and AOC get their way, New Yorkers are about to learn that lesson the hard way. And maybe the rest of America will finally just see how insane the left's vision really is. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.